Oh, good afternoon, everybody. I wish that I could pull you guys into the green room, listen to the shit me and Tattoo talk about for a couple of minutes as we get ready to start this show. Man, it could be literally anything is on the table. But I appreciate everybody being here. Thanks as you guys all start piling in the door. We got the early birds, and maybe we'll get some all-nighters in here later tonight too. I am not doing happy hour today because the liver needs a break. Last night was a once a month men's meeting. We had our washers tournament, second place. Thank you. It's pretty cool. And I partook in the man sodas, and I'm not hurting anymore, but there's no reason to see. There's certain times in DFS, we go back to the well. Yeah. Sometimes with the liver, we take a break.
I'm not necessarily a hair the dog kind of guy.
I'm not either. No way. But anyway, what's up today? Is it warm up there?
Yeah, it's pretty hot, pretty disgusting.
It's like 94 out here. So, everybody else, I'll tell you what, everybody that is in here, shoot your weather, shoot your temperature. It ought to be pretty hot all over the country. But I saw something about up in Montana somewhere. It's supposed to maybe snow up in the mountains still a little bit. I thought that was jacked up. I was like, man, I don't even know what to do with it. If I lived in that area, I'd probably move because I'm not a cold weather guy. It's not my thing. But either way, fire off your temperatures if you guys got them while we're running through, because we're going to run through the weather report here in a minute. Obviously, you've tuned into the MLB Live DFS Army lock show, and you got me and Tattoo. This is a full week sweep for Tattoo. You've been here all 3 days, which is awesome. It's my first Friday back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Had a few things on the calendar, so it's good to get back on the swing of things. 91 in Texas is Cujo, and hot, humid as Hades for Harlock. 87 northeast of Atlanta. Yeah, that's freaking swamp butt area if I ever saw
it.
Yeah. Yeah, shit. What we had a couple big wins last night, huh?
Yeah, I know Clint Beastwood has continued to rake. I think he's had a couple big ones. So he's doing really well. And Harlock put together a great lineup. And, I believe he took second place for
I can show
almost 6 times, or at least 5 times ROI.
I can show that one to the crew. That one's a pretty damn cool one. It's not sized right in the thing, but that was $10 into 2,700 on Prize Picks.
That Angel Reese
it was pretty damn cool.
0 points.
I got. Well, let's see if I can kill this thing. And boy, how many things am I going to have to add? Remove from the studio. Get gone. Let me go through here with another image file, and I can get you a couple of the ones that we had from today, because there's Clint Beastwood's coming. Once that thing pulls up, that's pretty cool. I wish I could resize these, but they're not sized right in my little template or whatever. But that is two $2,000 winners in the mini max, and those lineups off to the right and the left are a couple thousand each. You got $6K in 2 days. I should bring these up in a different screen so that I can full screen layout. Let's not do whatever. We're having fun with edits today, but the last one that I will show here super quick, I can get this baby removed again and start over. This is new. I'd like to get to where I do a little bit better with this stuff, to be honest with you, because we are a show and we should be pretty adept at these things. Where'd that one go? Oh no. Well,
we're old. They understand.
Yeah. What did Harlock do yesterday, dude? You're in the chat. Tell us up. You 4 points away from first. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or was that something you saw? I mean,
he was 4 points from first.
24 man and cash. Now I got a question, Harlock. I got a question for you. When you were saying that you've been close but never really got there, did you mean first place takedown, or did you mean just cashing in general? Because if it was cashing in general, then hey, cherry popped. You got there. That's awesome. If it was winning, man, you're damn close, and you really are right there. So that's awesome to see. For people that have been struggling, the people that have been here for a long, long time, it's awesome to see this success. Of course, that's what the banner does going across the bottom with MLB Live, and of course the Summer 25 free week that we talk about all the time on the show. Seriously, you're running out of time if you haven't done the free week yet. So you've definitely got to pile in there. That thing is not, it's not a standard trial that runs 12 months a year. It's here for a couple more days and it's going to be gone. So if you want to check us out for free, the time is now to jump in there and give it a shot. As a reminder, you're going to want to choose the weekly option, MLB only. It's for first-time members that are wanting to give us a shot, but it opens up every single tool, every single coach, every single thing in the MLB Discords to you and gives you a taste of what we do on a daily basis in terms of conversation, strategy, talk, and the tools and the research and all that good stuff. So, what do we got on tap today? We got a 13-game slate. That's
a big one. No real weather concerns. Tampa Bay's got a 40% delay in-game risk, but
I saw that, and I saw 30% up in Chicago. Those aren't really much to worry about. So, unlike yesterday when the games kind of started falling off, or day before, whenever the hell, Wednesday, when the game started falling off, the slate got smaller. Today ain't going to do that. It's going to stay big, I think. And 13 games, you know what that means? That means, just really just build your lineups, do your thing. You can take leverage in places and whatever, but you can also take leverage by just eating chalk today because there shouldn't be any duplicated lineups tonight whatsoever. Find your spot, plant your flag, do your thing. We do have Coors on the slate. I saw that. Arizona at Coors. So we know that one can go a little bit of Thump City.
And no Corbin Carroll.
Let me call the weather tab up here just to verify because I want to see some of those temperatures really quick before we dive too deep into anything else. And there we go. 87 in Chicago, 80 in Pittsburgh, 80 in New York, 85 in Tampa Bay. Jeez. The cool spots are 64 in San Diego, 63 in San Francisco, and then mid-70s elsewhere. Everything else is 80. St. Louis, 90. That needs to go up. Sorry, Joey. You missed that one. It's 94 here. So it's even warmer unless there's a game time temp. And the wind blowing out to left. And I'm not saying that's a thing for St. Louis. I'm just saying that hot weather, wind blowing out. Look at all those OTL, OTR stuff on that wind direction. And somebody's going to go off tonight. Hope you, whoever you are, whatever lineup you're building, hope you got them because somebody, maybe 2 or 3 teams are going to go bombs away.
Yeah, on paper, it's a great night for hitting.
Mm-hmm. Weather-wise, all that good stuff. But, I mean, as you can see, there's really nothing to be concerned about in terms of rain or any of that. So we can move on out of there. We can run into, I guess, that's where we usually go next. It's just a good tool to show everybody. Big enough? Can we see it? Is that big enough for you?
I have it pulled up because I'm so blind.
Well, y'all in the comments, let me know. Let me know if that's too small for you. I can blow it up a little bigger. I'm trying not to, pull the screen left to right too much. I want you guys to look at it all kind of right then and there. Now, if you're on your phone, I can't help you. You're going to have to really zoom in, put your cheaters on, get your magnifying glass out, and all that good stuff. But who's number 1 and 2 on the list? Those are the blue dudes, Hunter Brown, Nick Pivetta. Those are not.
There's 2 glaring numbers for different reasons that just stand out to me.
Well, Hunter Brown's chalky. That's got to be the K upside. Pivetta is not, but he shouldn't take too much damage. I don't think he's going to draw a lot of strikeouts either.
But then that Shane Baez ISO.
Yeah, that's the one. That one will always get you. That one always get you. And Pivetta's ISO against is up there a little bit too. On a slate like tonight, I've got 4 chalk pitchers. I've got Fried and Bibby or Bibby, whatever, Hunter Brown, Jack Flaherty. So if I go down here and I look and I see Hunter Brown ISO against 128. I see Fried ISO against 121. Wheeler's on the slate. He's not drawing a lot of attention, but he's a 106. Down here, Bibby 138 against. And wherever Flaherty is, 198 against. So Flaherty's got the K upside of the 550 K score. He's got a 198 ISO against. To me, that's telling me that if I was going to stack against somebody carrying some ownership tonight, that's the guy I'm stacking against. So, not that I'm, and it's Tampa Bay too.
And it's Tampa Bay at home.
Tampa can hit, and the weather's great and everything else. So Flaherty might just K10. That's fine. If he does, I'm not going to win tonight anyway. I can tip my hat and move on. But if I'm really trying to gain some leverage or really do something a little bit sneaky, then I can throw Tampa Bay stacks out there and hope that he's a little bit off and that ball really, really flies.
Yeah, Hunter Brown is probably just your cash lock.
Mm-hmm.
Move on.
Yep. And then a mixture of the other dudes. I don't need to go down to an Andre Palante. I don't need to go down to people like that. I'm talking about the guys with the good carnage numbers, the high K scores, maybe a little cheaper price, being that that we've got Coors on the slate if somebody wants to play them. This is not the night that I think that I'm going to – I mean, there's a lot of other offenses that can go off. So I totally understand if somebody says, I want to fade Coors. Fine. There's, 24 other offenses to choose from. Have at it. But I don't mind playing Arizona tonight either. So we'll see what happens. You got your tiers up? You got your offenses ranked?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll play a little pick and poke here in a bit too. I looked at here, if I can get the leverage stacks up here as well. I'm going to pop that thing open and I'm going to share that tab because I want people to see something here too. And this one I will have to blow up a little bit for everybody. Let's see. There we go. All the way over on the right side, I've searched by IRT, 7.09 Arizona, 6.84 New York. Okay, we see all that. But let's go all the way down here. 4.5 San Diego. That is the 12th ranked team on the slate out of 26. 11 offenses are 4.85 or higher. And we know that from earlier this week when I showed you those numbers, we know that a 5.0 and higher has a 30% chance of being in the nuts and 60 some odd percent at 4.5 or higher. That means if you're playing any offense outside of San Diego and below, I don't know that you need to take that chance tonight. You've got 10 offenses, 11 offenses to choose from in the top. Stick with any of those, and your odds are probably pretty good. That said, somebody's going to say something down there in the bottom that they might like, and that's fine too, but I'm just saying play the odds. You've got your own slate within a slate in a situation like this where you got that many teams to choose from. It's crazy. What did you see off of either Carnage Report or stacks? Do you have any favorites? I see just too many to pick from.
It's a lot to pick from. So yeah, I would say I have what I'm calling 3 tier 1, I guess.
3?
But I mean, probably the difference between them and tier 2 is
pretty negligible.
Yeah.
So you guys fire in your guesses. Fire those guesses into those comments because I got to be real honest with you. I'm not interested in tackling it now. I will tackle it if I have to, but I don't want to have to. Cleveland. Is Cleveland chalk? Well, let's look, Don. Let's find out. Where's Cleveland is ranked 18 out of that's average points. 23 out of 26 chalk. It's 43%. But remember, that's total lineup ownership. So no, I mean, yeah, they're up there towards the higher owned teams on the slate. The 43 is not very high. There is no chalk tonight outside of maybe Arizona and Coors. That's about it. Everybody else is totally in play. I wouldn't even worry about, ownership and chalk too much in terms of getting off of anything. I would just play what I want to play. Because even if you take Arizona and you say, well, I'm going to eat the chalk on a slate like this, pair anybody else with them and they've all got lower ownership by comparison. You're not going to run into a ton of the same lineups.
I haven't got one.
So I'm not going to call Cleveland. Well, Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona's got to be one.
Yeah. Even without Carroll, I mean.
But he got one. That means Atlanta and Cleveland are tier 2, tier 3 are unmentioned.
No.
None.
I do. Wait, what the hell happened to them? All right. Somebody's missing from my stacks. I got to go back and I'll just have to add them at the bottom.
Don, if you sign up, we'll be able to help you find pictures. You can get a lot of that off of Razzle's video, number one. But number two, you get access to this Carnage Report when we don't do shows. You know what I'm saying? Like I showed a lot on the Carnage Report when we do a show, but when we don't do shows, you got access to this. You can sit and stare at it, and you can bring up numbers, and you can ask the coaches what they think and get various opinions and all that stuff that we can't quite dive into depth with on this show. That's part of the value of being a member. But this is one thing I go off of, our research station, which we showed you back on Monday, our coaches' cheat sheets, which I don't show very often on this show. These are the things that really help you pick those pitchers and really help you drive that research deep and make those good choices. So yes, I would say signing up will bring a big benefit to that.
Harlock got Philly, and Toronto is supposed to be up there, but somehow they weren't on my list. But they're a top tier stack for me.
So Philly's top tier.
Yeah, and there's one more. Arizona, Philly, and Toronto.
See if you guys
one more.
See you guys figure it out. While those guys are guessing, I see Houston, I see Toronto. You said no to those.
I mentioned the pitcher I wanted to target.
Yeah, pull him out. Tell him.
Remember we were looking at somebody's ISO?
Mm-hmm. I see Padres sitting in there. Don's basically asking, he doesn't like paying high for pitchers, or we don't like paying for it.
I don't either.
And it's hard tonight.
Yeah.
Because again, Coors and Yankees and other high-priced teams, it's hard to pay up for pitching. You have to just take every slate as it comes. Some nights you can do it, some nights you can't. Some days it'd be incredibly contrarian to do it. Those are all things that experience leads you to. There is no push button one right answer in a lot of cases like that. And yeah,
Detroit was the answer.
Detroit was number one, was tier one again.
Yeah.
If you like the way we think about baseball, it's really, really, really simple. It's not baseball in general. It's DFS. The DFS is trying to find out where the public goes and then deciding if you want to do that or you want to go a different direction. And a lot of times we want to go a different direction in a game as volatile as baseball, because here, when I show you the leverage stacks again, and I'm looking at these implied run totals over here on the right side, 7.09, 6.84, you cannot tell me there's a difference.
Yeah.
There is on a ranking sheet. Those might be higher than, say, the next one down at 6 or 5.5. But again, 5.57, 5.39, 5.36, 5.34, no difference in any of those. All that implied run total is saying is Vegas is telling you they're in a good spot. So when you come over here to the ownership, now not necessarily on a slate like tonight, but if it was a smaller slate and you see these guys, let's say 2 or 3 of them were kind of reddish or pinkish and then one of them was green, I might just go with the green one because the industry is telling me everybody is on Arizona, everybody is on another team, everybody's on another team, and this team has basically an immeasurable difference in implied run total, but way, way, way lower ownership, which again, in general, tells me that if that's the team that goes off and the others are just kind of mediocre tonight, I'm going to shoot way up the leaderboard because I'm getting a bunch of points when nobody else is. That's all DFS is. You can take all of your knowledge about baseball, not throw it out the window, but I mean, you can throw half of it out the window because in a lot of cases, it doesn't matter that you know a guy bats 307 and 420 with runners in scoring position. He's got a 181 ISO on the year and a 123 WRC plus and all these other numbers. Shit don't matter. What matters is that you are successful when a large part of the industry is not. So we've got Arizona, Philly, and Detroit as your tier ones.
And Toronto.
Who's got your tier twos? And Toronto tier one?
Yeah.
So you got 4 up there, which 24 or 26 teams on the slate tonight. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
and you might not even you might not even come out of that tier, to build
like
a lineup.
I said, I mean, there was 4 tier 2s and you can make the case,
I'm typically using on a bigger slate 5 to 8 offenses, and I do not give a shit about the rest. If somebody else beats me, they beat me, and generally they're going to be low enough owned. It ain't going to matter. Because I'm, again, if I'm playing the nickel or playing the mini max, it definitely matters. But if I'm playing a 23 man, or if I'm playing a 100 man, or if I'm playing even a 250 man type of contest, it ain't going to matter. That offense probably didn't get picked by anybody else either, and I'm good. Tier 2. Let's get those 4 though. Blue Jays were number 1. Detroit was up there. I don't know if San Diego.
They are not on my list.
Yankees are probably not on your list.
No.
Because they've been shit lately.
And Shigano is, he's a solid pitcher.
Oh, give me Atlanta.
Correctamundo.
And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, because Don or somebody was asking for it, is Cleveland a tier 2 team?
No, and the Cubs played this afternoon.
Oh, well, duh. Oh, shit. Give me the Dodgers.
No.
Good. I didn't want to hear you say that. Any chance you would have St. Louis in there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to how about the Rockies?
Yes. Oh, Don, you're good. I put a team in my top tiers before that wasn't on the slate.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I corrected it before I unleashed to the world, but I was like, shit, they're not even playing.
All right, so how low on this page do you want to go? Your tier 2 teams right now are Atlanta, Colorado, and St. Louis.
Yeah, it was just one more.
One more missing. We know it in Philly. We know it in Arizona. We know it in Detroit. We know it in Toronto. We know it's not LA.
Touched on it.
We know it in
a while
Yankees.
ago.
Did I? Well, we know it in Cleveland. All right. Yes.
If there was a chalky pitcher,
I was gonna say you didn't even have to say that. I was already on it. I want to see if the other guys get it. I want to see if the other guys get it. I know who it is now. There's one tier 2 team left. We've got Arizona, Philly, Detroit, Toronto in there, and then we've got bingo. Harlock nailed it.
We got our A+ student.
Tampa Bay. And see, and the reason I want to complete those first 2 tiers is I don't care about tier 3. People can, but that's 8 teams. If I can't get 1 or 2 strong stacks out of these 2 tiers, then what the F am I doing? And it's baseball, so it happens all the time. I screw up all the time. But yeah, I'm in this range right in here all the time tonight. No reason to do a bunch of digging and a bunch of whatever. And I hate to be so shallow in the research. Can't get a good build for anything for MLB. The Prince, where are you at? Where are you starting? You starting with your pitchers or you starting with a stack? Because quite honestly, tonight has so many damned options. You can start pretty much wherever. Hunter Brown's expensive. Fried's expensive.
You're gonna almost cash, chalky, small field. You're gonna have to have one of those 10K guys.
Yeah, or have him work. Or if you go low on pitching, they both got to be better than the 10K pitchers, and that's not usually going to happen.
Yeah,
you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers over 9K. They aren't all going to fail. So somebody in there is going to have to get picked, and you're kind of gambling a little bit. You can gamble with a Flaherty. He's probably popular because of Coors. Kershaw's up there. If he's got any kind of limits coming off of him or anything, he might still have some K stuff. I don't know. Dobbins
of the 10K guys, I think the was Flaherty 10K or just right at it?
Right under it. Well, he's 8,500. He's 9,400 over on FanDuel. He's 8,500 on DraftKings, which is probably why he's popular. You got a 550K score. Now you're in Tampa, but you got a 550K score, so the upside is there. If he's on tonight, he can just blow through that lineup without much trouble. If he's not, Tampa's a good team. Tampa hits, and it's a warm day in Tampa and humid. Yeah. The ball can fly. And he has an ISO nearly 200 against, so he gives up some fly balls.
I guess if there was there's 3 10K pitchers and Gore is 9,800, but out of the 10K, I think Zach Wheeler would be my easy fade. I mean, Fried's gonna probably get a ton of strikeouts versus the Orioles, and Hunter Brown. And I mean, I'm not gonna pay $10K for Gore versus the Dodgers when the Rockies lit him up.
Ivan's asking where you're at with Bibby. Bibby says his ownership's about the same as Brown, and that's true because of the watered down slate with all those games on it. I'm literally, personally, just looking here at Carnage Report and K score. This is just, for me, it's a good tiebreaker. Bibby's got a 495 K score. Hunter Brown's a 550 with a 652 VK score, which is matchup dependent. He's got way more upside. So I would probably tie break with that. My problem, and this is what I used to do. I used to go through K score, rank teams by K score. And I would look at this and I would say, okay, BB's 495, right under the 500 mark. I've got a 559 in Hunter Brown for 11,200. Nothing is the same in MLB when we're talking about salaries and price points. So when I look down at that list, can I get the same for less and save the money? I look at Pivetta, that answer is no. I look at Kershaw, that answer is probably not. I look at Fried, that's $1,000 in savings, 472. That's too big of a drop in K score from 559 to 472 for $1,000. But when I get down to Tanner Beebe, 550 to 495, it's only a 50-point drop, but I'm saving $4,000. That has my attention. And that's not looking at ownership or anything. That's just looking at who's the pitcher. You're going to give me that $4,000 savings. You give me kind of, for $4,000, I would say those K scores are close enough. The strikeout upside, matchup upside is close enough. I could totally get on board with him. Absolutely. Your thoughts?
I have this. This is off subject, but I was just scrolling through the pictures because I was going to say Hunter Dobbins is a cheapie you could use too, but I think I would just go with BB in that price range. But the only thing that scares me about Atlanta is I always feel like Miami plays them so well. They always seem to have trouble with Miami or something. It's just a interpersonal bias in the back of my head.
Whoever was in Northeast Georgia, Harlock, I think that was you. Miami, are they Atlanta killers? Can you confirm Tattoo's gut feeling? Large field, would you go with the Rockies? You can.
I mean,
you've got them in tier 2. You can. Yeah. But I would say this. Again, Miami's a pain. I would say I would say in a slate like tonight, it's just a matter of whether or not you want to fade Arizona. Everybody else doesn't matter. You pick them. Pick who you like. Large field, small field, don't matter. Pick who you like. Me personally, and this is something that I should say, that's why I put one of the first comments in here tonight. I put the 13-game main, 5-game late, and then the late night 3-game. And the reason I said that was to remind myself to tell you guys on big slates like this, I'm a wuss. I don't play them very often. Now, if I was MMEing or I was doing something, I would. But I might take a night like tonight and go, shit, I've been doing MME all week. I'd like to take a night off. I'll just throw a single entry or a 3-max or something out there, and I'll go to one of those smaller slates where ownership does matter, and I'll go play the game theory game on those smaller slates. Because game theory doesn't matter tonight on the big slate. So that's just my whatever, for whatever it's worth. I've had more success doing that on 4 to 8 or 9 game slates. I've had far more success in my lifetime as a DFS player than I have in 12 and 13 game slates. And I think the reason why is strictly because of that smidge of game. Like chalk still matters in those smaller slates, but they're not so small that you only have one realistic option. So it gives it a little bit of wiggle room from blending chalk and game theory to get. It seems to hit my sweet spot. So that's where I'll be tonight. I'll be on the smaller slates.
See,
are you going to play the main yourself?
I'm going to play the main two, but I like the little turbo stuff.
Let's do this. Let's dive in and let's build a single entry lineup for everybody tonight.
I can tell you right now who the DS has a hard on for. The Phillies.
Really?
Shoving Hunter Brown, Max Fried in every lineup, and 5-man stacking Toronto with Philadelphia twice and San Diego once.
Well, let's, rather than do that, let's hand build one.
Yeah.
And where would you start?
Hunter.
Okay. So El Laco. And I actually, based on what Ivan pointed out, sharp move. It's Flaherty or BB for me. Flaherty is 1,500 more than BB. I'll go BB unless the audience has any kind of dissenting opinion. This is what I would do. Now we can have them throw out stack ideas and everything else. And you don't always have to start with pitching. It's a little bit easier. We've got 4 or 5 options that aren't too far off the rails, and then boom. That's just where I'm going. I do like the value in BB a good bit. So he is down there. Who are we looking to stack? Because again, on these slates now, what would you do in a single entry, say 1,000 people? It's not the 20-something man like you play the super small field, but it's something that's not a 10,000 person contest. Say 500 to 1,000 people. We're still going 5x2, or you want to go 5x, or you want to go 5x3?
I'd probably just still go 5x2.
5x2, because these are the slates where I start considering the 5x3s, because I want to hit 2 offenses hard. But 5x2 plays, it still wins more often than about anything else. It's just, if you look at those old sheets that we put in, the Discords, you'll see that as the slates, they all start off 5x2 on DraftKings and 4x3 on FanDuel. They all start off right there. Never varying from that is fine. But as the slates get bigger, they start building a bigger secondary stack. They start going from 4x3 to 4x4, or meaning the 4x4 wins more often in a 12-game slate than it does in a 4-game slate. Same with DraftKings and the 5x3. So you can start doing that if you want to. You gain leverage. I did a big research piece a year or so ago, 2 years ago, that showed how often those win versus how few people do it. So it generates a ton of leverage. But then on the smaller slates, it does start coming off of that 5x2 and go to even a 4x2 or something like that. But that's a 3-game slate and lower. Big game stack. It's not slack. Stack. Who would you start with? Because if you guys are having trouble out in comment land, where would you start? Would you pick it cheaper?
My starting point is going to either be Toronto, Detroit, or St. Louis.
Toronto, Detroit, or St. Louis. And I like the idea of getting a couple of them going. Toronto, Detroit, St. Louis. Okay. Who would you include on the big side or the small side? I mean, that's where you're going to start checking everybody. Arizona and Colorado, you're going to start checking all them back in, right?
Yeah.
Probably Tampa.
Probably just put those top 8 of my teams in
Atlanta. And where's old Colorado? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who am I missing? Philly? I'm missing Philly. Okay. So I'm just going to do that. And we're just going to get some ideas. We'll build 20 lineups. We've locked in the 2 pitchers. We've got only 3 stacks that you care about on the left, and then we've got 8 on the right. And we'll see what the thing does, and we'll see if we like it or if we don't. And you guys, your mileage may vary. You might have different teams that you want to stack or different ways to include it. I'm just showing you how people are typically doing this. So you got Hunter, BB, of course, 100% each. You got a lot of Barger from Toronto. Bichette, it really must have liked Toronto as your main stack. It did 80% of the time. So now, if I'm getting this in the DS, guys, and I want to see a little more even spread, then I might put a cap on Toronto at this point. Like I might come back up here, and I might say I only want to see him 40%, and then rerun it or whatever, right? Like you don't have to just leave them all at 100% and say, well, I guess this is what it is. But when you start putting your own opinion, your own mind into the DS, you're kind of hand building. You're starting to hand build. And that means you're headed in that direction yourself. You're wanting more control of the situation.
If you want to make a sexy lineup and like swallow the chalk deep throat with like Hunter Brown and Freed, St. Louis can make a beautiful lineup.
Okay. Well, there's your St. Louis here with Philly, with Hunter Brown and BB. 5 Toronto bats with a 2-3 combo in Philly. And Tyler Stevenson at catcher. You kind of punt and catcher, not exactly, but kind of. Man, I don't know. I know Palante gave up a bomb in his last start, but to be honest with you, he's a ground ball specialist. I don't know if I want too much in the way of Cincy bats tonight. There's 5 with Philly again. That's a 5x3. That's this 5x3, and this is what people always ask. Watch this, guys. Scroll back up here. 100% 5x2. Why did it give me a 5x3? Because the projections said that when you want 3 unique players in these lineups, this is the next best option. Boom, it just happened to be from Philly. So when you're building 100, 150 lineups, it will organically build you some 5x3s or 4x4s or whatever. You don't have to, control it exactly perfectly right. And if you look here, it's a 4, 6, 7. It is correlated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 from Toronto. It's a strong lineup. I mean, again, 105 projected points for that one versus this 5x2 Toronto Philly at 105.7, 105.77, 105.73. Once again, no difference.
Here, lineup. Tell me your thoughts. It is 77% ownership, projecting out 107 points, 108 points. Hunter Brown, Max Fried, Pedro Pajes, with your Thomas Aguisi, Mason Wynn, Lars Nootbaar, Alec Burleson, with a Alec Baum, Kyle Schwarber 2-man with a Miguel Vargas 1-off.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. Where's the JC Batten? 9th in St. Louis?
Which one was that?
That's the JC?
5th.
5th.
You got Pajes 8th, Sagasti 5th, Wynn 2nd, Nootbaar 6th, Burleson 3. So you got the
I'll tell you this. This is just my St. Louis homerism, but if you guys want to go into the research station, look up 7-day trend on Alec Burleson.
Nice.
Okay. Go look up the 7 and 14-day trends of Alec Burleson. They're probably pretty gross. He's been red hot. So, but yeah, these are, again, if you do Toronto Philly, or you do St. Louis Philly, or you do Arizona Philly, or Arizona Toronto, these things, when these guys, and this is so important for members and viewers and whatever to pay attention to, is when you look at these projected points, there is no difference between 105.53 and 105.54. None. That is an immeasurable thing. So don't use those projection numbers and go, oh, well, this lineup's better than this one. Not really. We don't know. I mean, it might be over 1,000 games where they run head to head, but we don't know on any given night which lineup's going to beat which. You might look at something like this between these two lineups and look at 69% ownership in this, lineup 8 here versus this lineup 9 here at 78%, and go, okay, 10% less ownership. That might be my tiebreaker. But projections can't be your tiebreaker when they're this close together.
Well, here you go, Chop. Donovan's 14-day OPS is .803. Yeah. Now we move up to 7-day, and it's 1.444.
Wow.
So he heading in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a heater. So you might want to put, if you believe in trends continuing, which I do, Everybody's got to cool off someday, but like you're talking about with the Yankees, you're like, I'm going to let the Yankees burn me and get hot again a time or two without me being on them before I start thinking about them again. I do very, very similarly. And in a situation like that, I'm going to hope that a Brendan Donovan or an Alec Burleson.
851, 14-day, 1046, 7-day.
So if you have a St. Louis 5-man stack, you probably ought to include those two dudes.
Probably be a wild study.
Even if the DS doesn't want to put one of them in there or both of them in there, you probably could manually make that happen. It probably would be a smart move. I just hope they continue. Hope they just one more day. Just get me one more day. I can be off of it on Saturday. Just get me through tonight and let those two guys hit a couple doubles and knock a couple people around the bases, get their points, and let's go. That's how I look at it. Question time, guys. Jump in here. We're running, about another 5 minutes or so on this particular rendition of the MLB DFS Army Rock Show.
Points out of your two pitchers.
You might. Well, and you might. You really might. But those are just some basic lineup ideas. Tattoo 3 a couple. And you've got the tiers and you've got the basic pitchers that, I wouldn't use anybody that wasn't in the top 5 or 6 options that we talked about. And I really wouldn't use too many of the teams outside of what you mentioned in your tiers either. It's just, the slate's just too damn big for me to think that I have a significant edge tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just playing it because I know that I have an edge overall, and I don't know what night that edge is going to come to fruition.
Yeah, I looked through the slate. I'm like, you didn't include Houston, you didn't include, Cleveland, all these teams in good spots, but it's like it's too many teams. I can't list everybody,
Right.
So you gotta find out where you're gonna stand.
Harlock says that DS seems to love junk on FanDuel.
Seems like a trap to me.
What do you think?
I don't. I
don't think I'd be doing it.
I wouldn't. Outside of mass multi entering, not where I'm going to hitch my wagon.
Right. I would be hitching my wagon. FanDuel builds better pricing anyway. I would be up at the top of the pitching pool, like always.
Yeah, you don't have to get cute on
Never have to get cute at pitching on FanDuel. So I don't worry about that kind of stuff.
You're not going to outsmart anybody taking the cheapest pitcher on FanDuel.
St. Louis lineup's a bit different than usual, that's for damn sure. Toronto's going to smash. Henry says Toronto's going to smash. I hope they do for you because it sounds like that's going to be your main stack. Cheap in the underdog battle royales. That's interesting. That's interesting. If they're cheap in those other contests, I wonder what that means. I know the guy's name's Junk. You can't hate that.
It's baseball. Anything is going to happen.
I swear sometimes people have to know what they're naming their kids.
Yeah.
If you've got a last name like Junk, then, there's a whole bunch of first names that you probably shouldn't name your child.
My buddy...
Can't put all the good stacks. Amen to that, Henry. The only way you can do that is if you're MMEing and even then, you're going to miss out on something.
My buddy Pierce, we call him Pierce is his last name. But
enormous.
Hockey, everybody just calls everybody by their last name for some reason. But his dad's name is Richard Pierce.
See? I've said this a billion times before. When I was in high school, I dated a gal, last name literally Dick, D-I-C-K. Ugh. And I'm not kidding. Somebody out there somewhere would have named their kid Richard just because they wanted to call him Dick.
Yeah.
And I think that is just like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to do that to my kid. He's in 3rd grade or 4th grade when people start figuring that out. And now the kid's traumatized for 3 or 4 years. Or like the boy named Sue, he grows up to be the baddest motherfucker. He's from Mississippi and just nobody calls him that because they kick their ass.
You're going to raise somebody with no self-confidence or the baddest MFer out there.
That's what I'm saying. The kid's either going to be CEO and charismatic as hell, married to a smoking hot wife, or he's going to be in jail for beating the piss out of dude after dude after dude. Never know. It's not really a lot of room for in between. You guys, if you don't have any other questions, I don't want to say slate plays itself because I don't really know what teams are going to go crazy.
Yeah.
I've got my favorites, I've got my targets, I've got my things, but that's kind of dangerous. That's
Dangerous.
funny. But I mean, I don't need to get too fancy. I don't need to overthink this one. I'm going to be on, again, the smaller later slates where I can justify overthinking it. The big main slate ain't that slate. So
you
you're
got
going
any
to...
dongers?
Oh, we could look some up. It's a big enough slate. We can do that and take 5 minutes and look that up. That's not too hard. Let's see. Got a couple triple dongs against guys with major plate appearances. Yordan Alvarez, 3 bombs against Kikuchi. Soto, 3 bombs against Wheeler. Polanco, 3 bombs against Boyd in Chicago, mind you. The best of those might be Yordan Alvarez, who, I mean, I don't even know if he's on the slate. I haven't seen his name for a long time. But he's slugging 1,200 against Kikuchi, and Kikuchi's been pretty good. So that would be a good one-off if it made any sense. I mean, I don't know. He has to be in the lineup, of course.
Yeah. Ernie Clement, yeah, I would play him as a one-off. I don't. Yeah.
Jake Myers has a couple bombs off of Kikuchi too. That's a cheap one. 2 for 9, 2 bombs. I mean, will it come to Suarez against Gomber? There's chalk. Corbin Carroll against Gomber. Kittle Marte against Gomber. Chalk, chalk, chalk. In theory.
I like Mickey Moniak.
Man, you do go off the rails.
Well, on my long hits, I gave 3. Hey, these are 3 guys, and they're reasonable. And then Mickey Moniak was the bong hit portion. But I like Soto. I have my money on Soto, Moniak. Damn. Trying to think of who the other 2 were.
Here's a stupid one. This is a 3-pack. And these guys only have 1 hit in less than 10 at-bats against Zach Gallen. But Sam Hilliard, 1 for 9, bomb. Orlando Arcia, of all people, 1 for 7, bomb. Jordan Beck, 1 for 3, bomb. I'm not saying that that's smart, but I'm saying that sure would be funny if you're a contrarian stack builder and you want to throw some Rockies out there. I might include a couple guys that do have a little history against Gallen.
I got Buxton and Carpenter, too.
Oh, my God. Hunter Goodman, 1 for 3, bomb. That's 4 Rockies.
Goodman is
There's Moniak.
Well, did you say the Tuglia? What the hell's his name?
I would have struggled with that one, too. I don't remember trying to pronounce that one.
He's first baseman for Colorado.
I don't see him yet. I've got Hilliard, Arcia, Beck, Goodman, and there's Mickey Moniak, 2 for 6, bomb. Kyle Farmer, 2 for 5, bomb. Shit.
Michael Toglia.
Ezekiel Tovar, 6 for 10, bomb. Wow. I mean, these are better hit numbers, but the 1 for whatever's are shit, but the 1 was a bomb. What if tonight's the night that 3 or 4 of these guys hit a bomb off of Gallen? It's Colorado. Could happen. That's not the dumbest contrarian. I mean, like I said, it's probably dumb to stack them all up when they're 1 for 9, 1 for 6, 1 for whatever. Hell, I mean, if you want to YOLO $1 somewhere in some single entry large field GPP,
I can tell you a coach who is pretty effing good at picking home runs and stuff likes Acuna tonight.
Yeah. He's just another one of those dudes, though, that he's so good that he's almost not a bold
He's
call.
up there with like Judge and Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, not in the way that he's going to hit 50 bombs a year, but I mean, he's going to hit them and he's going to hit his doubles and everything else. Colorado Rock Gallon last time, that might Uncle Cheese, that might be where those numbers came from. That might be where these guys finally got some hits off of him. Now, was that in Coors or was that in Arizona? I don't know.
I think it was in Arizona.
I thought so too. I'm kind of thinking back to where it was.
Arizona. I mean, Colorado's won like 6 straight games. Yeah.
It's just I don't like
saying, hey, they're going to take off now.
But I don't like to do 1 for 6, 1 for 9 type guys, but the fact that 5 or 6 of them all have a bomb off of Gallon, and it might have been this last time out where a couple of them tallied a bomb on him. I don't know. Again, I have spent far more dollar bills on far stupider ideas in my lifetime. So that'll be interesting. If that happens, I'm not even going to take credit for it. I'll say I hedged off of it because I don't think I'd put my money there other than, like I said, some large field $1, $5 GPP, something like that. Sure. Lotto ticket. And the only reason why 26 offenses on the slate, 13 game slate. And I don't think many people will be there on the Colorado side. So if it works, it's going to work. Might work pretty big. You got any final thoughts for everybody?
Nah. Just the usual: helmets up, win some money, pick good contests to enter. You don't have to play a lottery ticket every night.
No.
Build some bankroll up.
That's why most of my money's on the smaller slates where I'm going to have more success for my style.
That affords you the luxury of playing the lottery tickets.
Correct.
Unless you want to deposit every Friday.
Which I don't even want to deposit every other Friday.
2019 was my last deposit on DraftKings.
Strong. All right, well, cool. For me, Tattoo, the whole DFS Army crew, we'll start rapping with Geek on our show one of these times. That was bad. MLB Live, 10% off. Last few days of summer 25 for the free week of MLB only. Get in here, get to asking these coaches questions because today's the last show until next Monday. And I don't think next Monday, I don't think that's special. That summer 25 is going to be a thing. I think it goes away Sunday at midnight. So get your butts in here and take advantage of it. And hopefully we will see you guys on the flip side. So thanks as always for tuning in. Tat, be good, buddy.
I'll try.
I'll talk to you throughout the weekend, and I'll see whoever again on Monday. I guess it's Razzle again Monday. It might be you on Tuesday.
Yeah, probably. I don't think the schedule's out yet.
All right, cool. Well, peace out, everybody. We'll
all right. Thanks, guys.
See you next time.